Welcome back to Your Palm Beach Guide, where we highlight the people, businesses, and ideas shaping the Palm Beach community. Today's guest is Kurt Crowl, president and owner of Travel Leaders Palm Beach and one of the region's most respected luxury travel advisory firms. With nearly 30 years of experience across airlines, hotels, and travel management, Kurt brings a deep understanding of how the travel industry works from every angle. Based in the heart of downtown West Palm Beach, his team specializes in designing personalized travel experiences for clients who want more than just a trip. They want something truly unforgettable. Today, we're talking about the evolution of travel, the art of creating meaningful journeys, and why Palm Beach continues to be such a dynamic hub for global travelers. Kurt, welcome to Your Palm Beach Guide. Alrighty, hello, Kurt. How are you?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Good
I'm
morning. We are so excited to have you back on the podcast because
Thank you.
there's a lot to talk about, a lot of updates to share. But for those who don't know, tell us a little bit about you and your business, and then we'll jump in.
My name is Kurt Crowl, and I am the owner of Travel Leaders Palm Beach. We are we're on Clematis downtown on
Yeah.
Clematis Street and 222.
Yeah.
We're really the last brick and mortar agency
That's
in
true.
Palm Beach and downtown West Palm for sure.
Right. That is true.
So we're very proud of that.
And how did you get into travel?
Well, my love for travel was really on the airline side.
Okay.
And I have an accounting background,
Do
actually.
you really?
Yeah.
What?
People don't think
How
that's possible. But
how am I just now learning about this?
I actually have a CPA in Texas, and I started with Ernst & Young in Dallas. And I worked with American Airlines, which is why I went to Ernst & Young,
Okay.
because I ultimately wanted to end up at the airline, which
Yeah.
I did for 12 years, and traveled all over the world and had some really great jobs there.
Yeah.
And I got into sales at American and moved to Washington, D.C. with the sales group.
Right.
And then I went to a large agency. I was hired by a large agency as the kind of the right-hand man
Yeah.
to an owner, Executive Travel Associates, which is
Jeez.
no longer around. But
Right.
that's how I got onto the agency side
On the
of
agency
things.
side. No, that's so perfect. And so how would you say that how have those experiences shaped how you travel today? Are you just the master of all that comes to travel?
Well,
Honestly.
as I would love to say I'm a master, but there's no one that is a
Yeah.
true master because it changes
It changes.
a
Okay.
lot. But at the same time, it doesn't change a lot.
Yeah.
I think the airlines. Um, Personally, I love to fly, and I think the
I've never heard that
airlines.
from somebody who loves to fly.
Well, I do a lot of it. I'm
Yeah.
in the air quite a bit,
Yeah.
and I enjoy the experience. I don't think it's as the airline business is a very challenging industry
Yeah.
for all sorts of reasons, and the way I've been all over. I've been to a maintenance base. It is unbelievable what they do in a
Really.
maintenance base to get those planes. We just take it for granted
We
that
do.
this aircraft gets in the air, and there's so much to it that it is a miracle that everything sort of comes together as well
And the
as
fact,
it does
well,
day in
and
and day out.
I love that you say that too, because we really do take it for granted when it comes to just watching this giant metal tube go in the air with all of these people on it. That's a miracle in itself. And so I love that you say that because I think, when you were talking about you've been to a maintenance thing, like what does that look like for the people that are working there? And like for your experience, like as a viewer, what did that feel like?
It's really overwhelming
Yeah.
to see planes like when they call it the C check or whatever, where they basically tear the aircraft completely down to the studs
Oh
of
my
the plane, the
gosh.
frame, and they put it back together.
They put it back together.
And that's why airliners are they last for 25 to 30 years,
Oh, wow.
and safely, and then so it makes you realize just how
Fortunate we
the
are,
level
really.
of detail is
Yeah.
just astronomical. And, really, the airlines all over the world, we have the FAA, we have incredible standards here. So that's why we've had so few issues
Right.
in the last 20 years. I think we've had very few
Yeah.
accidents. But even around the world, it's, airline, and we know where not to fly and what airline not to do. But
Yeah.
generally, I can't think of airline. It's safe worldwide.
Right.
It really is.
No, that's good.
Which goes a lot to, the maintenance side
Yeah.
and the training side with pilots,
With pilots and everything.
especially.
Yeah. So when you're now, let's talk about travel leaders and just kind of how you're leading that company, but it's not a brand new company, right? So
No.
walk me through the story there because you're celebrating a big 40-year anniversary, which is a big deal, 40 years in business. And just kind of walk me through the start with Eileen's and then travel leaders and all. How did that happen?
So I was in Washington, D.C. and looking for a change, and I heard about this travel agency in Florida in West Palm, which I'd never been to West Palm. I'd been to Miami 1,000 times
Right.
with American. So I came up in 2016 and checked it out, and
And you're like, this place is amazing.
yeah, I thought it was going to be
Yeah.
like in a strip shopping center or something,
Yeah.
like a little, and we were right downtown on Clematis
Oh
Street.
my goodness.
And they've been there for 40 years, and that's why we've stayed on Clematis.
Right.
But to jump back, I just fell in love with the people. That's really, my team is unbelievable.
How big is your team?
So we're 6
Okay.
now.
Great.
And we're all here in the area.
Yeah.
They don't come into the office every day
Yeah.
now because Donna's up in Port St. Lucie, so
Okay.
she works from home.
Yeah.
But it was important for me to continue to have an office and a brick and mortar
Exactly.
location. And we have a lot of clients that, come in
Yeah.
quite often, actually.
And so 40 years is such a long time, especially to be on Clematis for that duration. And when you're thinking of long-term legacy, what kind of goes through your head when you're thinking, okay, we're going to change? Was it always Travel Leaders Palm Beach or did you change the
No,
name?
we did change the name.
Okay.
It was Eileen's Travel,
Eileen's Travel,
which
got it.
people knew,
Right,
again,
'cause of
obviously.
Reputation, of
Right.
course.
And they, especially in the low downtown West Palm.
Right.
But so I bought the agency from Mary and Jack Lane,
Okay.
and Mary is still an agent with.
No
She's an
way.
independent contractor.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she likes her clients
Yeah.
and continues, so she stayed with us, and again, the people are, you don't really know what you're buying when you purchase a business.
Right.
It is a gamble,
Yeah.
obviously, but I think it was the quality of the people has been astronomical. They're really some of the best agents I've
Yeah.
ever come across in my career, and I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I've worked in large agencies.
Right.
And so I'm thrilled about it.
Yeah.
And then I added Mary Salepis into the corporate side. So we're sort of unusual in that we do about 25% of our business is corporate.
Wow. So what does
Which I
that look
love.
like for corporate work?
We have not grown too much with local
Yeah.
corporate, which is something I'd like to do because
Yeah.
obviously it's a booming
I mean,
city.
it is. Absolutely.
Most of my corporate has come from what I've done in what I had in Washington, D.C.
Right, but
which
that
I
is
brought.
still very monumental. I mean, and so important. You're downplaying it a little bit, but that's a
Well,
big deal.
Well, my favorite, I shouldn't say my favorite, but
Yeah.
my largest client is the Aspen Institute,
Wow.
which is based in Aspen and Washington.
Right.
Actually, their headquarters are in Washington. So, and we fly all of their speakers throughout the summer in and out of Aspen.
Wow.
But now we've grown and we're doing other meetings. We're handling the Madrid. They partner with Bloomberg Philanthropies, and they have a huge meeting of mayors in Madrid.
And that's in the
In
summer.
April.
Oh, April. Right,
Mhm.
right, right,
Yeah,
right.
so we're busy working on that, but we're growing. We've worked with Palm Beach Atlantic
Yes.
University. They're great, and we have a few others locally, but not as many as I would like.
Well,
to
I
have.
think the goal then is just to get out there on the corporate side,
Yeah,
right?
it
It
is.
is. It is. It is. I think that's incredible that you're working to grow this piece of your business. Like you already have the singular type traveler or family traveler kind of in the book, and now you're able to branch out and to get that corporate business and get that corporate section built on that side. So, for someone who hasn't ever used a travel agency before or a travel advisor, What does a firm like yours do for a brand new client?
So we meet with them, we're all referral based.
All referral
Outside of
based.
my involvement with charities and the chamber,
Right.
we don't advertise.
That's incredible. So it's all pretty much organic growth at that point.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people, I just want to preface, a lot of people think my biggest issue when people talk about
Yeah.
working with an agency is they think we're more expensive.
Got it.
We're not.
Yeah.
We're not. What we provide is expertise, but we also provide, special benefits. We're not going to be necessarily, we don't have discounts
Yeah.
to lots of things, to be perfectly honest.
Right.
But we certainly match anything you see online.
There you go.
And our biggest frustration are some of these big cruise agencies, because
Yeah.
about 30% of our business are cruise that offer, they look like 65% off. Well, that's just bad. It's just
That's bad.
false advertising.
Yeah, you should be like red flag right there when
Yeah.
you see something like that.
But the cruise lines don't, because
Yeah.
these guys are big, for
Right.
them. So that's our biggest issue, and because it just makes people think that we're more expensive.
Right.
I almost lost a group on Virgin Voyages,
Yeah.
which we talked a little
We
bit
did,
about.
Very
Because
excited.
I had to prove to them that we were going to get the same exact rate, if not better, and then all of the services that we provide, as the intermediary with the cruise line. But I had to prove to them online that we were going to get the same.
Oh
the
my
same
gosh.
deal. So it gets frustrating.
Yeah, and exhausting because at the end of the day, you're just trying to provide the best experience for your client, and it's hard to have to go to battle like that sometimes. So speaking of that, when it comes to your global partnerships, because you've traveled everywhere, right? So you have those incredible global partnerships. How does that help you, translate these better experiences for your clients?
Well, just for instance, a perfect example, we had a late booking to Scotland, and we were able to look at the hotels that are available. And we're part of a network called Select
Okay.
Properties and Select Experiences. And also because of the relationship that Travel Leaders has with Rocco Forte, which is a hotel chain mostly in Europe. A lot of people here don't know them, but they actually own the Balmoral in Edinburgh.
Oh my.
And we were able to get the benefits that we got these folks was incredible. A free tour, $200 room credit.
That's so amazing.
Yeah, I was so shocked at what we were able to get
Yeah.
because of our relationship with Travel Leaders and being a part of Travel Leaders.
No, that's so important. And now that we're seeing that Palm Beach has now become really an international community, Palm Beach we're on the map if we weren't before. We definitely are now. How has that influenced the types of trips that your clients are taking?
Our clientele has always been very sophisticated.
Yeah.
We don't book a lot of domestic travel,
Okay.
Like tours and things. We do some, and that's generally for people who are, have sort of done it all
already, yeah.
and done a lot of Europe.
Yeah.
But we also always the reason why I bought the agency, I thought it was a good gamble because Floridians are cruisers. They love to cruise.
Smart.
So that's a great market. We're very good at it.
Yeah.
And we know it well. We know every ship. We can, you and I were talking about.
Yeah. I'm planning my family trip 100% with you.
And I don't know how people book cruises without an agent.
Yeah.
And the amount of money that they spend on these
Right.
trips can be astronomical. So, but the focus has always been, international for our clientele. Mostly Europe. That's our biggest. Italy, France, Spain, and the UK.
That's so cool.
But we do exotic. I have three more couples going to Antarctica, which I've been twice. We're planning Galapagos. We love South America, and I really want to promote South America as an agency because we have an amazing partner down there.
Yeah.
That not everyone would know about. We book the standard A and K and people, sort of name brand ones. But we have partners around the world that we know and have been proven partners to us and who are experts.
Oh my goodness. So tell me a little bit about the South America experience then as somebody, how are you driving people to that market?
We just suggest it
Yeah.
whenever we can
Okay.
because we don't do advertising.
Right. That's true.
There's a lot of content. So I really want to get out and talk about it more,
Yeah.
in situations like this because I have been in every country except for Venezuela.
Mm.
I have not, Brazil, I need to travel some more in, but it's just, the variety of everything. The cities are wonderful. Buenos Aires is an amazing city. It feels like New York.
Mm.
Sao Paulo, people, I've not been, but that's what I've been told too. We have clients that go there every year.
Okay.
And then the other side of it is all the adventure,
Right.
whether it's Chile
Mm.
and Patagonia or Peru and,
Yeah.
everything that Peru has to offer. And Colombia has come on and is really,
Yes,
really
I've
safe
heard.
now.
I've heard.
And there's direct flights from Fort Lauderdale to Cartagena.
Yeah.
So it's the great thing about South America is you don't change time zones,
Yeah.
and we are so close to Miami is the airline hub to South America.
It is, yeah.
So you can get anywhere from Miami.
Well, it was incredible because we had the former president of Colombia speak at our breakfast, President Ivan Duque, and he was sharing as well that Colombia has really been put on the map again as a safe place to travel. And he even got up there and spoke and was like, if you haven't been, you're missing out. So I love that you say that as well.
Yeah, I really enjoyed his.
Yes,
that
he was
morning
so great.
breakfast. Yeah, he was really enlightening. And if you look at South America, all of the countries in South America, except for Venezuela for obvious reasons,
Right.
they are all level 2 warnings by the State Department, which is the same as all of Western Europe.
Yeah.
And we don't send you off on your own.
Right.
Like
It's not like good luck,
you're right. I mean, you're going to be met at the airport.
Right.
Unless you don't, we'll
Yeah.
do whatever you want.
Right.
But generally, you're going to be met at the airport, taken to your hotel, and then the tour starts either, for individuals or they join a small group tour
Yeah.
or a cruise. There are lots of cruises all over South America too. So
Yeah.
we don't leave you alone. And the guides, I always love working with guides all over the world because you get such an additional element to
Yeah.
the trip. That their personal relationships
Right.
and their kind of flavor that they add to a trip is really,
Yeah.
especially in a place like South America.
It's so nice. Well, so as we wrap up here, what is one mistake that travelers make when planning a big trip?
One mistake. uh, there are so many. I mean,
Yeah, well, what's the one that's like, this is so blatantly obvious that just you see it all the time?
well, we don't see a lot of mistakes all the time because we help people, to
Right.
be perfectly honest.
Yeah, but is the mistake
Um,
then not using
Yeah, I
someone
mean,
like you?
honestly, it
Yeah.
is to think that you can't, that we're not, that we're
Yeah.
going to be more expensive,
Right.
because we're not.
Yeah.
And we really, our goal is to build relationships lifelong so that we're working off a checklist of destinations.
Yeah.
And the longer we know people, the better we're at fitting itineraries or
Right.
destinations, to that particular client.
No, that's so true.
I would say people probably overpay for things. And in particular, safaris
Yeah.
are really, anyone booking a safari should come to me or another travel agent.
Okay.
Because you can overpay for safaris.
I'm glad you say that because I think a lot of people that is a destination that they want to go to. I've heard so many people talk about it. And, it's important to make sure you're informed to not get got.
Yeah, because this gentleman that we work with, and he's all over Africa, but our client wanted to do something. It was their 50th birthday, and they wanted to do something. They heard at a cocktail party. That's the other thing. What people hear at cocktail parties doesn't always translate to the best advice.
Yeah.
And so he wanted to look at this really special lodge that someone told him about, and we looked at it, and Paul said, I'll sell it. It'll be $20,000 or $30,000 more dollars, but we're not. I think
What?
you're going to have as good of experience at the lodge we did. So, And of course, that worked out.
It
They
did.
loved it,
They
and
loved it.
they were like, "Thank you for saving us from
Yeah,
you know
that's
spending this
insane.
amount of money."
Oh my goodness. That's crazy. So everybody hear that. Okay, you need to work with Kurt
For
for
anything.
anything. For anything,
India, I
exactly.
love India. It's
Yeah.
safe. Egypt is amazing.
Ah,
It's very safe.
good.
Um,
I think that's a big misconception for people. I think people think that if they can't travel right now to Egypt or even India, like you said, and just given the climate of our world, but I'm glad that you are saying that we can.
mhm.
So,
Well, Egypt, what I remind people is they have no other. I've never felt safer in any place that I've traveled to as I did in Egypt because their security is so strong because
mm,
they are so fearful of anything happening
right.
again because that's all they have is tourism.
That's true. You're right. That is true.
That is their lifeline,
Like you have to protect that. Yeah.
and they do, and so
That's good.
it really is safe.
Yeah.
Um, Jordan right now is a little. I would not go to
A little
Jordan
dicey.
at the moment.
Yeah.
But but we have to listen. I'm pretty adventurous,
Yeah.
so I have to be careful not
I
to
know. I love it. I love
not
it.
to get too
Yeah.
uh,
That's so good.
critical.
So, well, I love this. So, well, Kurt, thank you for being on. We have a couple rapid fire questions. So, this
Okay.
is just whatever comes to your mind first as we close. So, coffee or tea in the morning, what's your go to?
Oh, coffee.
Coffee for sure. Okay. That was like
Oh, yeah.
no hesitation there. Your favorite hidden gem in Palm Beach?
Favorite hidden gem in Palm Beach. In Palm Beach
You can go
or
out
in
of Palm.
West Palm.
You could do West Palm if you want.
Well, I still love pistache here on
It's
Clematis.
so good.
You know,
It really is so good.
and also Cafe Sapporo.
So
is
good.
They're,
Oh,
you
I'm so
know,
hungry
the
thinking
old,
about it.
yeah, the old standards because they have so
Yeah.
much competition right now,
I know.
and it just
Support
feels
your
like
local
home.
restaurants, guys. Support your
Yes,
local
that have been
restaurants
here for a long,
for a
long
long
time.
time. What is one book that changed your life?
Hmm. I'm not sure about that actually.
Okay, that's all right. You get back to me on this though,
Okay,
because I
I
want to
will
know.
because
It's very rapid fire, so
yeah,
don't worry.
sorry.
It's okay. And then, what is one piece of advice that you would give your younger self as you navigate life and the workplace?
Um, I I would have people, focus on do what you love. I know
Mm,
that everyone says that, but truly, I started an audit.
yeah,
I could have probably retired by now if I'd stayed as an audit partner,
right,
but I didn't. That didn't get me up in the morning,
right.
And obviously, I love to travel, so
You
I
love to
really
travel.
try to follow your heart as
Yeah.
much as possible.
No, I love that.
That's easy to say, but it's not always easy to do. But
Right.
I also recommend working if you want to be an entrepreneur or you look to own your own business
Mm,
someday, really spend time in some larger companies,
mm. That's great
understand
advice.
how they operate, and the skills they'll teach you are really, really important for stuff you can take away your entire life and your entire career.
Wow.
I'm also, I'm an office person. I'm not sure how people develop careers not in an office.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a real challenge for people.
Right.
But that's, that was me. But don't
Yeah.
be, I think working for a big company is
Wanted to get the
really,
experience. That's really important that
yeah,
you said that. I'm glad you said that. And it's great advice to all the entrepreneurs out there because everybody wants to be an entrepreneur because that's kind of like the buzzword right now.
right.
And it's like, well, you have to be sustainable and you have to be able to pay rent and, so it's important. I'm glad that you said that. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, Kurt.
Thank
We're so
you.
glad to have you on today.
Thank you for having me again. I enjoyed it.